All right, we're gonna try MT's seed preset randomizer thing. It's supposed to just be safe logic, but with the added benefit of that the bat is in logic to get before the second castle. Because I was talking about basically doing this at some point, but MT went ahead and did it themselves. So thank you, thank you for that, MT. And I'm curious to see how these kind of seeds are gonna play out. I imagine they're gonna feel like randomizer, but maybe just a tiny bit better for speedrunning, specifically because bat is gonna be available. And you'll never end up in a situation where transformations are guarding your ability to progress, so that's cool. Well, it wouldn't be DMCA, it would be a C&D. I don't think DMCA is the same. Digital Millennium Copyright Act doesn't apply to that shit. Yo, what up, Doc?
Souls and make them your slaves.
6 months, dude. You can still get glasses before bat. It just locks the state of bat to be available before you're forced to go to the second castle. Yeah, that's what I figured it was. But yeah, thanks for the explanation, MT. I didn't check my starting gear, but this is with the normal safe item randomizations as well, I'm pretty sure. So I gotta be ready to deal with jank-ass items. But I'm excited to try it out. It seems like it's gonna be fun. High potion. It looks like a luck. It had the luck potion sprite, so I was like, oh god, more luck potions. Anti-venom. Okay. Cool. Ah ha ha ha. Okay. There's a stone. Cloth tunic? That looked like actual cloth tunic, but it might not be. Spirit orb? Sure. Oh, that's the sword familiar over there. Could be useful. But it'd be tedious to make it feel right. Yeah, that's, I mean, that's why it's been like, one of these projects has been in the works for like over 10 years, and it still hasn't had like a public beta or anything like that. So. Oh, that nunchaku is a thrust sword of some sort. Nice. Yeah. Covenant stone, okay. Yeah, those fan projects blow my mind because it's like, that's so much effort that you're putting into this project that's just gonna get C&D'd immediately. Like, Konami will not allow that to exist. Like, you'll probably be able to circulate it, like, underground for a while, but... The other thing is if, like, let's say you set up a Patreon, right? So you plan on making money through, like, a Patreon for setting up, for making this mod thing that might not ever release, right? You're taking these people's money, but you could still get cease and desist did by Konami just for having the Patreon up and making money off of a unreleased mod. You're better off making your own game. Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel too. Just have it be, you know, instead of Alucard, what's Alucard backwards? Dracular. Yeah, just have your main character be that guy. They're gonna start licensing their IPs to third-party developers. Is that true? Is that, like, confirmed? I mean, it would make sense seeing as how Konami doesn't do shit with their IP. I should probably check the items that I have, actually. That's German two-handed sword. Wait, is this? Okay, we're good. That's just Claymore. Some sort of gem. Oh, I also forgot to check, yeah. Simple cloth tunic, okay. But it increases like all my stats. Which item? Is that Drac tunic? Increases all of your stats like that? What chest piece increases all of your stats? Like literally all of them. God's Garb? No, God's Garb doesn't. It only increases your defense, I'm pretty sure. I think it might just be Drac Tunic. I think Drac Tunic's the one that increases all of your stats. Konami does have a lot of shit with Yu-Gi-Oh! And a lot of bad product. I mean, I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is their bigger money maker overall, right? Yeah. Remaking Soten is a waste of time unless you're being contracted by Konami to do it. Don't do it. It's a waste of time. The game already exists. Don't remake the game. You're better off, like we have been saying, just make your own game if you're going to put that much time and effort into a project. You can make it very similar to Soten and have a very similar vibe and feel and shit. And that's fine. But make your own shit so you don't get fucking C&D'd. I mean, you could make a prototype and then pitch it to Konami and see if they'd bite. But even then, that seems pretty stupid as well, to be honest. Keep a Zoe, not worth. That seems like a lot of effort just to probably get rejected. You could call it something like Blood Splat Song of the Evening. Yeah. It's a shame Bloodstain sucks, am I right? There's somebody on my YouTube comments who was like, it's not fair to compare Symphony of the Night to Bloodstained, and I'm like, are you sure it's not fair to compare them? Because I feel like Bloodstained is trying to compare them. I don't know, they're only made by the same dude. And its entire existence is essentially hey, remember Soten? I'm doing that again, kind of. You posted a link in the Discord? Thanks, man. Yeah, I'll check that out. I'm curious to see what their sources are that say that Konami's gonna leverage that stuff. Bloodstained was alright. My thing with Bloodstained is it's just extremely unpolished. It was a fine experience for what it was, but it's just unpolished. Oh, it does him one shot. It only increases the attack by 10, huh? For some reason I thought the thrust attack would do more damage. There aren't very many difficult bosses except for the classic boss, I feel like, is the only hard boss in that game. A lot of bosses can be cheesed as well in Bloodstained. I'm curious what that is. This jump is pretty tight. There we go. Man, that thing sucks. Just another thrust sword that sucks. Bloodstained Rando does suck, yeah. You're better off just using the fan-created randomizer if you want to play Bloodstained Randomizer. The fan-created one was actually much better. Dude, this guy's so good at the game. I don't understand how he's always just like... God, he's so good at the game. I wish I was as good as Doppelganger. Ocean. So far, this randomizer feels very normal, very standard. Oops. Get around to finishing it. Eh. The game's alright. You also fucking bought the Switch version, which was a big oof. Yeah. Gravity boots. Alright. We got out of Logic Flight a little bit, so that's cool. I should probably check Fire Bat first. Nah. Probably doesn't matter. I think that's a gem. Because I think I saw that same exact sprite somewhere else. Okay. The gem grinding session was fine. I ended up getting a sub hour 20. An hour and 16, I think, was my final time on the gem grinding seed, so that was fine. Yeah, but as far as Bloodstained goes, I don't think I have any interest in playing that game ever again, really. Like, they tried putting out new characters, and... I mean, Zangetsu's actually kind of fun, to be honest. Zangetsu's fun for the sake of, like, just being an overpowered badass running through the castle and stuff like that. Has some interesting movement tech, some interesting combat tech. But... other than that, it's pretty meh. Playing as Miriam feels bad, for sure. Oh, that's a turkey. I was like, what the fuck is that sprite? Okay. I don't think they will make OD a playable character, because that's not... Have they even finished all their stretch goals yet? Does anybody know? I feel like they haven't yet, right? Because there's supposed to be a multiplayer stretch goal that was supposed to get hit. There was supposed to be like co-op. Oh, that was a diamond. Zircon actual diamond. Nice. I'll grab Power Wolf, why not? Okay. Luck Potion. Mana Prism is pretty expensive. Wait, okay. Looking at the stats for this stuff. Plus 12 int, wow. It's a lot of int. Wait. Normal sunglasses increase your strength by 1? Is that true? Wow. That's cool. Oh, dupe. Nice. Man Prism. And then, is there anything else I can get? Any... Oh! Damages all enemies. I'm looking for a use item that's actually kind of strong. Doesn't seem like there are any. Yeah, none of these are good. Except for Fire Boomerang, kind of. I guess I'll buy one. Fuck it. Yeah, I'll buy 2 and hope that I don't break the game. Okay.
Farewell for now.
But I can't... Because I need this for flight, so whatever. Whatever. Then actually, let me not put on the duplicator yet. So Zangetsu as a character has like works basically like how you would think a Richter type playthrough would work. You start off with like everything that you need to like beat the game basically. You just have to but the thing is in order to get to the end of the game, you have to kill a specific list of bosses. And then Bloodless was the next character that they added, but the way that Bloodless works is that you actually have to find abilities like in the castle. And I don't know, the movement for Bloodless wasn't very interesting at all. Her damage output wasn't very good. And I didn't have a ton of fun playing as Bloodless, so I never even finished my Bloodless playthrough. Boss Revenge mode is fucking boring as hell, to be honest. It's just fucking big snooze fest. I do not give a shit about Boss Revenge mode. I should probably go to Alchemy Lab, because that's going to be where the next relic is. That's going to be where Flight is Alchemy Lab. You only need to beat, like... It's not every boss. It's like every boss minus like 4 or 5. So for the most part, Zangetsu is kind of like an all bosses speedrun in order to just finish it. Nice hit, dude. Get down here, you little bastard. A lot of useless items, you love to see it. Really? Okay, whatever. Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I've talked about Bloodstained a lot. I should probably just make like a formal video describing my feelings for that game. The same way I should for Hollow Knight as well. Because both of those games lie on the different ends of the spectrum when it comes to what I think is wrong about modern Metroidvania design. I think a lot of modern Metroidvanias are like just afraid to, like, they want to stand out and be their own thing, but in doing so, they forget what makes Metroidvanias fun, which is making exploration a meaningful and fun thing to do, and having your world actually be fun to explore. I think both Hollow Knight and Bloodstained fail at that, but in 2 completely different ways. Where Hollow Knight is like not fun to explore because of the way that the world itself is set up. Fast travel is like cumbersome and annoying. The actual movement mechanics in Hollow Knight are kind of garbage, to be honest. So moving through the actual world itself is slow and boring. So it makes you not want to backtrack, but there's a shit ton of backtracking in that game. And every Metroidvania is going to have a shit ton of backtracking. Where I feel like Bloodstained has too much useless, pointless bullshit to find in the game. So going around and finding something new doesn't actually like mean anything. So a lot of the time you're just like looking for stuff and it's like not useful at all. And the game itself just isn't polished looking. So being in the world feels bad because it feels like you're in this unpolished, ugly ass world. That's Spikebreaker. I do need to check out Deadlit Wonder Labyrinth, though, to see if Oh, nice. If that will change my opinion on quote-unquote modern Metroidvanias. The game looks really cool. I want to check it out. My biggest thing, though, is I just don't like spending any amount of money on a new video game. Well, that's what they all do. They all are very inspired by Soten. Like, for the most part, Soten or Super Metroid. Ain't nobody fucking out here being like, oh, my game's inspired by Shantae. My Metroidvania is inspired by Shantae. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody's trying to make Shantae references or fucking La Mulana references, because nobody gives a fuck about those games. That's actually probably pretty contentious to say. I think a lot of people do give a fuck about those games. You'll get it for me? Damn, bro. I mean, you don't have to if you really don't want to. But if you really want to, then sure, that's fine with me. I'm not gonna say no to a free game. This needs to be a safe split before I forget. Thank you. Thank you, Brain, for remembering. Yeah. If you give me the game, I'll play it on stream. That's fine. I'm gonna make time to play through a lot of games on stream actually soon. Damascus. Is it bad? Did I just get a bad sword? Oops. Very bad. Oh, these are actual Buffalo Stars. Nice. But I can't use them yet because I need flight. Alright. Yeah, I know the Touhou one's from the same developer. It uses like a lot of the same visuals and it looks like the same exact game engine. So this randomizer that we're doing right now is different from the others because it's a custom variant that allows, essentially forces Bat to be in the first castle somewhere before you go to the second castle. The seed that we did before this, though, was the April Fool's randomizer, which forced me to farm money to buy all the relics in the shop, which was actually really funny. I enjoyed it. Mojo Mail. But it's not a la carte, but the Axe Lord armor. I don't know. I'm basically ignoring all these items for the most part. Oh, is that holy glasses? That's actual holy glasses. Yep. Okay, so I need that. That means Bat is somewhere in logic right now with flight. If I had to, I think that's what that means at least. Also, that was a weird trade. I did the slash attack, but I also got hit out of it, so the attack animation went off, but also, I don't know. That was weird. I've never seen that before. So my guess is Bat is my next form of flight. Like the intended form of flight, so it should be in the alchemy lab? Maybe? I mean, I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's what it feels like it should be. So I mean, alchemy lab legit just has to have flight of some kind, so oops. So whether it's Leapstone or Bat is yet to be seen. Oops, don't want to bonk there, but whatever, I'll just do this. But yeah, one of the things that I'm going to be working on soon is a, it was Leapstone, damn. A way of, or not a way of, but I think I'm going to start working on it in like a week, but it's going to be basically short form reviews of different Metroidvania games that I've been wanting to review. They're not going to be super in-depth or anything like that, but they're essentially just going to be like a, do I recommend checking this out or not kind of thing. And we'll see how that goes. I own Ori 1, both the original and the definitive edition, but I haven't played it yet. I haven't played Ori 2 yet, though, and I don't own it. Is this the video about Dark Souls being a Metroidvania? Not necessarily, no. But I mean, Dark Souls is a Metroidvania. I feel like that's a not mind-blowing hot take anymore. I think most people see the resemblance and can understand the similarities between the two. But it's really only Dark Souls 1. Like, Dark Souls 2 and 3 completely separate from that for the most part. I mean, Dark Souls 2 is kind of a Metroidvania, but not really. It still has some, like, I don't know. It's just a wee bit different. Oh, I guess I could do this now that I have full flight. That on, and then I can do this, and then there are my Manu Prism. Okay. Dark Souls is a Metroidvania in the same way that Soten is an RPG. Kind of, yeah. In a weird way, yeah. But yeah. That's actually a really good way of putting it, yeah. It like borrows some of the mechanics and some of the tropes, but it doesn't get in the way from it being its own thing. Like, it's a Metroidvania, kind of. Like, it borrows from Metroidvanias in a way, but it still is its own thing. Yeah, Soten is an RPG. It's an action RPG. That's not like a debatable or mind-blowing revelation for you guys, I hope. I hope you guys aren't all of a sudden being like, wait a minute, there's stats? Wait, Soten's an RPG? Oh my, this changes everything. I hate RPGs. I'm never playing Soten again. I don't know. I feel like those videos, though, that I'm thinking of doing might end up being... I think they'll end up being fine, but part of me worries that they'll be a little too, like, self-indulgent as far as, like, my personal preferences towards, Oh my god. Fuck me. Whatever. I actually want to grab these in case they have good stats. Stop! Just jump off of a ledge. You have 7 frames to do it! I'm so bad at the game. Is this an adventure seed? No, this is normal. It's basically a safe logic seed, but Bat is somewhere in the first castle. You can think of it that way. That's like the TLDR. I still haven't found Bat yet, though. Bat is probably either at Sword Card or in the caverns. Actually, those are the only 2 options right now. I don't know. Part of me wonders if other people feel the same way about, Metroidvanias the way that I do, as far as, like, their design and shit. And then another part of me is like, nobody gives a shit about my opinion, shut the fuck up, idiot. But then I realize I am talking head on the internet. And yelling my opinion into the void is basically the majority of what this, it's basically what it's all about. Just kidding, I don't need to refill my MP. If I'm not yelling my opinion into the void, then, like, am I even being a content creator? Jumping and ledge grabbing. Yeah, a lot of games do have like a forced ledge grab thing. I don't know. One of the games that I was super disappointed in, and I'll talk about it probably in the video that I'm thinking about making, is it's a game called Chasm. If you guys look it up, the art style looks like very, very good. And that's a thing that a lot of, I think, Metroidvanias do very well. Like the indie Metroidvania, you're basically guaranteed to find a game with like an amazing art style, really good sound design, really good music, you know, really good presentation, and then the actual game mechanics and moment-to-moment gameplay feel like fucking doo-doo buttholes. Like, it doesn't feel fun to play. That's like my macro analysis for Hollow Knight right there, is that the presentation looks amazing, and then the game feels like fucking ass to play. I feel like a lot of developers don't know how to develop around backtracking and making backtracking not feel awful. And the main way to make backtracking not feel awful is to make a game or make a character whose movement in combat is actually fun to just use at all points, regardless of what relics or like abilities or whatever you have. So from the beginning, your character needs to be fun to control. Do I increase my defense or my offense here? Does it matter? Eh. Meh. How are these flame stars looking? Not that good. Okay, whatever. I'll keep my offense up. Why not? Just don't die. But yeah. Having no focus on base movement being interesting in any way ruins a lot of Metroidvanias for me. Or hiding or pushing back a lot of the fun movement options until like the last like 2 hours of the game. In like a 15 to 30 hour experience. You want me to wait 29 hours before I get a goddamn double jump? Why? Like it feels like Metroidvania developers are afraid of making their games fun. Like, well, if we make the game too fun at the beginning, they're not gonna wanna, it's gonna ruin my beautiful progression curve that I have designed out in my head. When it's like, me, I just wanna go, haha, bat go burr. Wing smash go burr. Like that shit's fun. That's dopamine straight to my brain cells. Whereas like, no, we have this intricate multi-layer design where you can go to multiple places and it changes the way that the story plays out depending on which route you take it. I don't give a shit, just let me have fun. Yeah, Shine Spark go burr, dude. Ooh, Soul Wolf, that kind of hurts. Because, I mean, I have to find Bat somewhere down here, so... At least if my understanding of the way that this... How did I soul steal out of a fucking front slide? Hello? That's new. Yeah, Bloodstain, you don't get double jump for like the first like 4 to 5 hours. Like locking somewhat basic movement feels very bad. Like locking it behind like dumb shit. I don't know. Again, just my general thoughts are, it feels like game developers don't want their games to be fun until you've reached a certain point in the game. Like they care more about the progression being absolutely perfect, perfectly paced or whatever, when in reality it's like, that isn't as important as me just having fun with your game from the start. I feel like not having fun from the start hurts so much more. Dude, where the fuck is Bat? Yeah, locking a lot of your progression or just like your more interesting movement options into like the very late game feels bad. I mean, to be fair, I don't think Soten was designed around the wing smash being used as much as it is in like speedrunning, in like a speedrunning sense, but like that's the main reason why the game is fun for me, like as where I'm at now. But even then, I feel like the progression you get in Soten is pretty, you know, pretty good overall. Oh my god, I'm bad at the game. Never mind. This game fucking sucks. I changed my mind. This game is trash, and no one should ever play it. Oh, I should have gotten Holy Symbol, huh? I skipped Holy Symbol. That's my bad. Because with Holy Symbol, you can be in the water as Wolf. I forget that that's like actually important. What the fuck was that? Rune Sword? Heaven's Sword, everybody's favorite. But yeah, stuff like Wolf and Power of Wolf, like that stuff's not necessary to beat the game, but it just adds extra movement options. It adds extra layers to, you know, they're just superfluous power-ups that let you go faster. Might be Chakram. Either way. I don't really need to worry about items since I have Duplicator. Oh my god. Let me out. I don't know. But I'm not a game developer, so maybe I'm just talking out my stupid asshole. Panther Soul is unfortunately like one of the most boring and uninteresting ways that they've ever balanced movement in Metroidvanias. Where did sequence breaking go? It didn't go anywhere, honestly. Sequence breaking was never like an intended mechanic, I don't think. I think that it just came down to developers not really testing a lot of stuff back in the day as to whether or not it would break the progression that they had set in their mind. That's just a guess, though. I could be wrong. I don't think any... maybe the developers knew about some sequence breaks, but just didn't give a shit. That's another option. Is that they're like, this game needs to get fucking pushed out by the end of this month. I don't give a shit to fix this. We already developed around it. So if somebody sequence breaks, that's on them. Hollow Knight has a shit ton of sequence breaks that were either known about or intended in the game. There's like an entire optional boss that you can fight early if you do a sequence break. So I don't think lack of sequence break means anything as far as like modern Metroidvania design. They still exist. And speedrunners are going to be speedrunners and find glitches and shit in order to sequence break the games. So it's not like these games are missing sequence breaks by any means. It's just maybe the way in which they're being broken is not what we're used to. All right, there's Soul Bat. That's nice, at least. I need to stop getting items. I'm being greedy. Well, I guess I'm looking for a library card, actually. Yay, the seed did the thing, yeah. 40 minutes in. That's not too bad, to be honest. No, I don't fuck around with fire goblins anymore, especially if I'm at low health. Fuck those dudes. They've killed me too many times. Port Soten to Steam? I 100% wish they would port Soten to just the PC in general. I would, if the Xbox 360 version was ported to Steam or just available on Game Pass or something, that would change Soten speedrunning forever. Because so many people are unable to really play at like the top level of Soten speedrunning, specifically because they don't own an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One. Because unless you owned an Xbox 360 back in 2007 to play Halo 3 and Gears of War, I don't think you're going out of your way to own an Xbox 360 in the modern era of video gaming. And then Xbox One, who the fuck bought an Xbox One? The only people that own an Xbox One are people that are like, I don't know, wanted to play fucking FIFA 2019 or some shit. The sad part is that the Android mobile port Actually has the most features out of any port they've ever done for Soten, which is wild. I should probably reset for Power of Mist, but whatever. I have infinite mana prisms in Bat, so I think save splits aren't really that important anymore. So the thing is like whoever made that Android or mobile port or whatever, because I don't think it was Konami's main team or anything to do with Konami. I think they just like had somebody, they just outsourced somebody to do it. But whoever did that put a lot of effort into that port to make it very mobile friendly, which is nice. Like that's really cool that they put the effort in. It's just unfortunate that the version that Konami is very set on using. Oh my god, that was a mistake. I don't even have Echo, huh? This should work, right? Yeah. So yeah. There's also issues with the voice acting in the PSP port. I think the main reason why they changed the voice acting in that port was because there was issues with licensing the original voice actors. Oh, another Buffalo Star. That's actually kind of huge. I don't have a fucking library card. Feels bad. If I had a library card, the seed would be pretty nice. Yeah, what's up, Epic? Yeah, I don't expect everybody to own an Xbox 360. And that holds a lot of Soten speedrunning back, unfortunately. Because a lot of people don't want to run the game on emulator. Like, they find out that emulator loses like 2 minutes, and then they're like, well, I'm not even going to try if I can't play on the fastest version. And it's like, well, okay, whatever, dude. I feel like that doesn't happen in other... Well, it probably does happen in other speedrunning scenes, but... I feel like even within the PlayStation community, a lot of games, it's like, for example, the PlayStation community is like, there's so many games that are slower on emulator. Every single PlayStation game is slower on emulator. Every single one. Because PlayStation 2s exist, and PlayStation 2s and PlayStation TV and PS3, depending on like the game, all run faster than playing on the original PlayStation 1 hardware or playing on an emulator. But I feel like other communities don't have to deal with people being like, I don't want to play unless it's on the fastest version. And it's like, okay, go buy a fucking 90K PS2 and also a PS Vita and also a 75K PS2. Depending on the, like, each game is going to require a different console, you know? I don't know. I feel like just fucking speedrun the game. Who cares if it's not the fastest version? If you really care to play on the fastest version, play the game on whatever version you can afford or whatever you have access to until you get a decent enough time that you want to compete for like the world record and shit. I have a PlayStation. I have 5 PlayStations just for Soten. Yeah, the point is to have fun. And you can have fun so long as you're just playing the game. Are they all daisy chained together? That would be very funny to see a daisy chain of fucking PlayStations to play Soten. There's Tooth of Vlad. That could be the highest complexity. Vlad relic. Right there. Only the PS2s. So if I was really ballsy, I would skip. What would I skip? Probably Merman. I'm not interested in Merman statue. So I do want to check I could probably skip Holy Glasses as well. Imagine buying hardware just to speedrun a game. I think everybody does that at some point. Very few people just own the hardware already, you know? I mean, I technically did. I had an Xbox 360 with Soten already like there, but that's how I was playing Soten casually, as I was playing on my 360. Let's go to Auroch's quarters. We're gonna fight Aurochs and then use Silver Ring and then go to the second castle, I think. I don't know. Nonetheless, if the game just existed on PC, I think that would help a lot. Because one, we would be able to have auto splitters that removed load time, which would be nice. PC is obviously extremely accessible. If you're watching on Twitch, for the most part, you own a PC. If you're interested in gaming in general, you probably own a PC. And a game like this, probably you could run on literally anything. Do I have a video or something of my setup? Like my computer setup? What setup are you talking about? Are you talking about how I stream the game on Xbox? How I stream the game on PC? You guys have phones, right? Yeah, everybody should just switch to the mobile version. That's gonna be the go-to version of the game. Dude, if the mobile version was the fucking 360 version of the game, that would be a fucking huge game changer, to be honest. Tried out Twitch Studio Beta. Turns out it just makes BizHawk crash. What the fuck is a Twitch Studio Beta? My PC consoles to play. The OBS alternative? Oh. God, that sounds like absolute fucking doo-doo dog shit. Just use OBS. Why would you use anything else? OBS is amazing. No, I've never gone over my setup ever, as far as like my stream stuff or my consoles or anything like that. I mean, as far as, I think the only 3 consoles I really have available to me right now that I actually use is my SNES, my PS2, and my 360. And then everything else I just use my computer for. And my computer's a little outdated. All right, I guess we're going to second castle now. I mean, it's actually not. Having a, oh my God, stop. Having a 1070 is okay, considering GPUs are fucking expensive. I recently upgraded to an i7 processor. It's an old i7, but it's gets the job done. Actually, how did Maria even get there? Have you never seen a Maria speedrun, dude? Maria's fast as fuck. You need to sit down and watch yourself a Maria speedrun, dude. She doesn't give a fuck about this castle. But the spikes, lol. Nah, dude. You don't understand. Especially in the chapel, you can go out of bounds so fucking easy on the Saturn version. And since obviously we're talking about Maria having Saturn certain properties, because how else would you play as Maria? Maria easily just clips out of the bounds. Yeah, Maria in the chapel doesn't care about spikes. Exactly. Nice. Clutch mana prism there. Yeah, 1K for a 2080 is fucking insane. I wouldn't spend 1K on a processor. My entire computer setup when I bought it was about 1K. So to spend an extra 1K just on a processor, or sorry, on a GPU would be insane. Somebody did, crazy bastard. Damn. I mean, I would love to upgrade my computer. It's definitely getting to the point where I would like to have nicer computer parts, but it's just too expensive to do so. And I'm perfectly fine using the computer that I have now. I can stream any game that I want for the most part, as long as it's not fucking Call of Duty Warzone at fucking 4K and 100 and fucking 44 hertz. Well, I don't think it's gonna get any better. Crypto is never going away. Well, maybe not never, but for the most part, crypto is not going away. And we live in a time now where the materials it takes to create those components is becoming rare. So the minerals required to make computer chips are becoming more and more rare as time goes on. So I don't think prices are really ever gonna go down unless we start mining fucking asteroids for materials, which probably won't happen for another like at least 10 to 15, maybe 30 years. Yeah, it's more of the silicon shortage than anything. Just replace them with moon rocks. That's what I'm saying, dude. But unfortunately, what am I doing? I don't need to save ever. Space travel is very expensive right now. But there's so much platinum and other materials out in space that'll be worth like trillions of dollars if somebody were to go out of their way to start farming and mining stuff in space. Not literally farming, but... That level up sucks, dude. I'm on the wrong experience route. To be fair, we're getting to a point where we're like realistically becoming a post-scarcity economy, but because fucking capitalism exists and people hold on to capitalistic ideals fucking so tightly, there'll just become artificial scarcities. I mean, that already exists, but whatever. Like the entirety of the academic understanding of economics in general is based off of the idea of scarcity. But we're getting to the point where scarcity like doesn't actually matter for a lot of materials, especially like natural resources. But we're actively like shortening our ability to make those scarcities go away because it's more profitable to increase access for yourself and decrease access for others to natural resources. But whatever. I'm literally talking out my ass, so you don't have to believe anything I say. I know it's very trendy to be fucking...
Contact. You never know what we will face when we open the door on a new world.
Thousands of solar systems.
What the fuck? Oh my god, I know what this is. Talik. It's because I'm stupid. Shut the fuck up, Star Trek. Jesus Christ, that is absolutely hilarious. It's my bad. This needs to be shut down when source is not visible. That was my bad. It's because Talik stopped streaming and then fucking it started playing ads. And I had Talik's stream open on my OBS from us doing co-op. That's actually hilarious. It's because I didn't do the thing. I was supposed to shut down the source when not visible. Oh my god, that's so funny. Wow, I get ads and I'm subbed BS. Exactly. Oh, I don't need to, yeah. Oh, I don't even need to go this route. I'm stupid. I only go this route if I need MP. Whatever. Shut the fuck up, Star Trek. Imagine a reign on capitalism being interrupted by ads. Yeah, Star Trek ad of all ads too. Oh shit, I gotta duck that. Dude, fuck off. Oh my god, dude. CV Trio, they're just mean. That's both the rings. Fuck off, Ralph. Yeah, dude. Yeah, like I said, I know it's very trendy to be anti-capitalism, but don't mindlessly be anti-capitalism. Be anti-capitalism for the right reasons. And those right reasons, most of the times, are the same reasons why it's kind of trendy to do so, but I don't know. Don't just listen to whatever the fuck some random douchebag on the internet says. Unless he's telling you to like, comment, and subscribe on the video down below. Make sure to subscribe to my merch drop. Make sure my Patreon supporters get an extra tuck into bed at night and a kiss on the cheek. Oops. Gotta find a new USB micro. The prongs on mine are stuck inside of the cord. It just falls out wherever it's plugged into. Damn. What's up, Audrio? How'd you enjoy the April Fool's stuff? I finished my April Fool's seed right before I did this seed. It was actually a lot of fun. Oh, ow. Wait, hold up. Let me not be stupid here. And by not be stupid, I mean... There we go. I should just wing smash this idiot. What am I doing? There we go. But there's no takers. I think sub-hour is doable. Yeah, sub-hour is definitely doable. If you get the right luck, of course. I caught on pretty quickly. The only, I think, mistake in my route was not getting the Aurochs teleporter, but I don't think that wasted me any time because I didn't miss a clock cycle. So it all just is going to depend on luck, I guess, because I feel like I got relatively decent luck overall. I got a couple of high gem drops. Oh, we never got a diamond drop, by the way, so we never finished the prediction. ASD fell asleep. ASD started a fucking, will I get a diamond drop prediction, and then fell asleep at the wheel and never finished the prediction. That's pretty funny. There you go. Enjoy your fake points, everybody. Your legally redeemable tender for anything of value. Your DB bucks. So it's such an interesting speed game with all the movement mechanics, the little optimizations. Yep. Now this game's dope, especially for speedrunning. It lies in this really good zone as well when it comes to difficulty, I feel like, especially for starting out. There's been multiple people in the Soten speedrunning community that have literally like went from never really played this game in a speedrunning sense to being like a top 5, top 10 like contender as far as like whatever category they're looking into within like months, like less than like 3 months. You can learn the game and get very good at the game very quickly. The game allows you to do that. The effort that you put in to learning the game's mechanics and the game's movement rewards you, I think, very quickly. Why is the health making you nervous, dude? I'm not gonna die. You have to be bad at this game in order to die. I've never died before. Duh. The other thing that I think is really nice about this game is that finishing runs is extremely easy to do unless you soft lock yourself, and it's very easy to avoid soft locks. Especially, yeah, I mean, any percent Richter skip is basically the only point where like soft locking is actually kind of scary, I feel like. I don't know. Whereas, like, I don't know, when I tried to learn Super Metroid, I had such a hard time finishing runs because I kept fucking dying. And there's like no safety saves or anything really that you can employ that don't waste like multiple tens of minutes. Do I not have anything better? Actually. Flame Stars are a tiny bit better. But I can't use those on Dracula, huh? 130? What does 130? Monster Vial? Merman, really? Fuck. That's fine. Isn't that why you play it? The game you play to hate? Exactly. I don't know. Super Metroid in and of itself, I feel like that's the kind of game where, at least when I was speedrunning it, I was speedrunning it to play the game and just finish the game, I think. I didn't really care about my end time. Like, the challenge itself was finishing a run for me. Finishing it fast didn't really matter to me. I was just more impressed with the idea of being able to beat the game without dying more than anything, which I could not do consistently. I was like one for like every 4 or 5 runs. I would only finish like 1 out of every 5. And I went for like a bunch of safety missiles and shit too. At least 100%, yeah. If you do 100%, your odds of dying is a lot lower, but you could still die. There's like still places where the game says fuck you. But having those extra items does help a lot. Oh, that's another thing that does suck about Super Metroid is the item collection jingle is like 10 minutes in 100%. Like 10 minutes of the run is just spent listening to that item jingle. Which is unfortunate. Yeah, that's why if I were to really like want to run Super Metroid 100%, I would just run on a modded version that got rid of the item jingle. Because I don't really care if I submit it to a leaderboard or not. It would be for me. Yeah, I know Rando removes it. The training practice hack removes it. There's just a hack that I think is the vanilla game, but also just removes the item jingle that exists. Especially in 100%, there's rooms where you literally just like grab an item, 2 seconds later grab an item, or you grab an item, wait 5 seconds for the jingle, and then like less than 2 seconds later you grab another item, and then you grab another item as soon as that jingle's over. So there's like collectively like 4 seconds of movement, but like 30 seconds of shit that you can't skip. Yeah, that's why if you go back, you're running on modded. Yeah, same, dude. When I never go back. Oh, shit. I read that as when I ever go back, not never. That's really funny. Zelda levels of feel-goodery. Yeah, exactly. That's honestly like the biggest design flaw for Super Metroid, dude. Is fucking hello? Ugh. sort by medicine. My god, why do I have so much useless medicine? Is the fact that that jingle just takes so fucking long. Everything else about the game is fine. I'm washed and never gonna actually speedrun anything again. Or just speedrun again, yeah. Dude, I feel washed as well. That's what randomizers are for, right? Is for all of the washed up speedrunners. I just attract all of the washed up Soten runners in my chat. That's what I'm here for. So, I don't know. You know what will actually determine whether I'm washed or not? Is how quickly, if my glitchless run gets beaten, how quickly I'm able to take it back, or if I do take it back or not. That's going to determine whether I'm washed or not. I slowed Super Metro. What the fuck? 800%. That's all it takes to get 16k views. Feels fucking weird, man. Seems to be intent on taking the #1 spot. I mean, my ego tells me that I'm gonna make that very difficult for them, but also practicality hits in, like sets in, where I'm like, man, do I really want to grind fucking glitchless? Like glitchless of all categories? That's what I have to grind? So I don't know. It's like a inner struggle between my inner laziness and my ego telling me that I don't want to drop a world record to literally anybody. And you have to pry that shit from my cold, dead hands. But then I realize, actually being cold and dead sounds kind of nice. That sounds very peaceful. So maybe I do want to let him pry it from my cold, dead hands. There was a time where Romscout thought this about you. I doubt it. Romscout, I don't know. I don't know enough about Romscout's internal feelings about having world records in this game. Because like when Romscout was the dominant force in this game, there was kind of next to no competition. I mean, that's kind of how it is now, but not really. I don't know. Yeah, Romscout joined the washed up speedrunners crew, not that, like, I don't know, back in like 2016. I don't know. Nonetheless, I appreciate that there's people that are willing to grind this game. Because, I mean, that's where I was, where I felt like I was the only one grinding this game for a very long time. But it's whatever. Oh, I should do a double Buffalo Star before I forget. I'll switch for the Drac fight. Oh. I don't know. Again, I appreciate that there's competition, but like, again, this is like all ego. But my ego is telling me that I can't let other people win. But I'm a very competitive person in that nature, you know? Like, I don't think I would have grinded to get all the world records if it wasn't for the fact that, one, a lot of people said that I couldn't do it. A lot of people made it out to, like, that Romscout was unbeatable. Which, to be fair, like, dude was extremely dominant, but I don't know. Part of it was I wanted to prove people wrong, and then once I no longer had the urge to prove people wrong, it came down to proving that I was the best. And I feel like I've done that for a long period of time, but I don't know. My ego makes me feel like I want to hold on to that. But I also need to accept that, like, I don't have to do this for the rest of my life. I don't know. These splits aren't real, MT. They're not real splits.
What profit is it to a man if he gains the world and
I don't
loses his own soul? Matthew 16.
Yeah, the seed was alright.
I believe.
It wasn't like the fastest bat that I ever got. It basically just feels like a normal safe logic seed, except with you never have to worry about bat being behind Galamoth or some shit. So that was pretty fun. I enjoyed it.